Welcome back, race fans. It is time for our Gasser Series semifinals and our first ever races under the lights. As you will see on the screen, we have Mason Gustavius going against our returning champ, Griffin Soul, and we have Paisley Carter going against Steve Lobin. This is a best of 3 series. First driver that wins 2 will move on to be one of our finalists. All right, folks, enough of the talk. Let's get down to the starting line and let's get to the racing. It is race 1 of the semifinals. In our far lane, we have Griffin Soul. In our near lane, it's Mason Gustavius. Who is going to take the early 1-0 lead in this semifinals? Drivers, watch the lights. And there's our green light coming down, dead even race side by side. It is a neck and neck, but Mason Gustavius pulls out the win in one of the best first races we've seen on this channel. As you will see in the replay, Griffin gets a little caught up coming out of that. I don't know if he spun the tires, but here mid-track, we are dead even. Then looks like Griffin again gets a little sideways with the back end, and that's all it takes when a race is this close to decide who's going to cross that finish line first. And I'm sure Mason and his team are ecstatic for the fact that they just took race 1, an early lead to the series against our reigning champion. If this is how the rest of it's going to go, I am so glad that we're doing night races, because these races are exciting and it seems to bring out the best in these drivers when they know they're under the lights. All right, let's head up to the starting line and get ready for race 2. All right, this is race 2. You have Steve Lobin in your far lane going against Paisley Carter on your near lane. Will we see another 37 Ford Coupe take a 1-0 win? Drivers, watch the lights. And there's our green light coming down. Drivers are both even, and mid-track Paisley just pulls away from Lobin like it was nothing. She hit a second gear and said, "See you later, Lobin." Watching this replay, both these cars come out dead even. Both had great starts, perfectly straight down the line. And then it looks like right there about mid-track, Lobin gets a little loose on the back end, lost his traction, and that's all it takes in a race this close for Paisley just to walk away, beating him by a car length, running a nice run of a 3.305 to a 3.325. We're going to take a quick little intermission, allowing the drivers some time in the pits to cool their cars down and make some changes. So looking at our bracket, you'll see that Mason on the left has a 1-0 lead against our returning champ Griffin Soul, and Paisley Carter has a 1-0 lead against Steve Lobin. Since the early on, these 37 Ford Coupes have been running great down this track. Both of these teams have put a lot of work in and it shows. Does Griffin Soul or Steve Lobin have anything left up their sleeves to force this to a race 3, or will we see a 2-0 sweep with the 37 Ford Coupes? It is race 2. We have switched lanes. Mason Gustavius is in your far lane. Griffin Soul is now in your near lane. Can Mason do a 2-0 sweep, or can Griffin give it all he's got and force us to a race 3? Drivers, watch the lights. There's our green light. Griffin way out with the huge lead. No. Griffin loses control and he wrecks and he flips at the end. Oh, Lord, that's not good. We're sending our medical staff down right now, as you can see on the screen. We're going to be checking on him to make sure he's okay. All right, we just got reports from the medical staff. He is out of the car. He is okay. We are going to get the car flipped back over onto its wheels while they are working and attending to him to make sure everything's okay. Looking back on this replay, he has an amazing launch out of the hole, takes an early car lead, one of his best launches, and then mid-track hits something, loses control, not sure what it is, ends up on the median, gets it back under control, but then ends up wrecking going through the finish line and flipping upside down. That is a very scary wreck to see. Unfortunately, he gave it his all, but he still lost due to the losing control in the wreck. So that makes Mason our first person moving on to the finals with a 3.360. It is race 2 for Steve Lobin and Paisley Carter. Obviously, as you see, we've switched lanes. These drivers are eager. Are we going to get another 2-0 win by a 37 Ford? Or can Steve Lobin pull something out and send this to a race 3? There's our green light coming out. Steve Lobin takes an early half car lead and he maintains it. Clean runs by both drivers. Steve Lobin with his first win. We are now tied up. Let's go ahead and head back up and check out this replay. See, coming out of the gate, both cars, nice launches. Steve Lobin gets an early lead at the beginning of this track. You can see right there, Paisley gets a little loose on the back end. She still holds it, but not enough track left for her to come back and try to catch up on that. Not when Steve Lobin runs that clean of a run with a 3.315. All right, looks like we got to go to a race 3 to see who our other finalist is going to be. This is it, folks. Race 3. Winner moves on to be the finalist against Mason Gustavius. Loser packs it up and goes home. Drivers, watch the lights. There's our green light. Paisley out with an early half-car lead. No, but she looks like she has some trouble. And Steve Lobin passes her on the big end of the track with the win with a 3.355 to a 3.385. Here in the replay, you'll see a beautiful start for both drivers. Paisley out with a half a car lead. Then she gets kind of caught up right there, gets loose again midway down the track. And that's it. Steven said, I got this. I'm driving around her, and takes the win. What a solid 3 races between these two drivers. They both competed their hearts out, gave it all they have, but now we know who our 2 finalists are, and we have Steve Lobin moving on to face Mason Gustavius. Folks, what an awesome semifinals under the lights. As you will see, Mason Gustavius with the 2-0 sweep against our returning champ, Griffin Soul. Griff, sorry bud, hopefully we'll get to see you on the next series. And Steve Lobin with the 2-1 win over Paisley Carter. Let's go ahead, let's move our 2 drivers on, and there you have it. Our finals will be Mason Gustavius against Steve Lobin. This will be a best of 5, so the winner has to win 3. With the conclusion of the Gaster series coming in the next video, please feel free to leave comments down below of which vehicles you'd like to see compete in our next series. As always, guys, thanks so much for the support. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one.